Alright, welcome back YouTube. Welcome to our fifth tutorial on Algebra 1. Today we'll be talking about combining like terms. Okay, so let's get into this. So first off, suppose you're given this equation. 3x plus 2x equals 5. So how are we going to go about solving this? So we have a 3x and we have a 2x, and if we want to solve for x, we can combine these like terms. Since they both are a coefficient, which can be, we're going to suppose for this equation, say y is a coefficient. They're both a coefficient like this, and a coefficient times x, plus another coefficient times x equals 5. So since it's just like this, we can just add up the 3 and the 2 to get 5. So we have 5x equals 5. And then we can say after erase the x and stuff. And by using the division property of equality, which we learned in the last video, if we divide both sides by 5, we can figure out that x equals 5. Okay, so let's visualize this topic of combining like terms more thoroughly over here. Well, suppose we have over here 3 x's, which is 1x, 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 and we're adding 2 more x's over here to that, which we're adding a big plus sign over here, 2 more x's. So how many x's do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the reason we were able to combine these terms. In a few more minutes, I'll teach you guys what terms you cannot combine. Like there's some times where if you have a coefficient with an x, another coefficient with an x squared, or something along those lines, you cannot do this. Okay, so this is our first example. Let's go on to our second example over here. And in this example, we'll try out something else, maybe something more complicated, something maybe like okay, what do you guys want to do, chat? Yvonne says he wants x equals 3x plus 2. Okay, so in this equation, we have to set it up a little bit differently, but it should nonetheless be pretty easy for us. So first, we want to solve for x. So we want to try to get all the x values to one side. So maybe using subtraction property of equality, we can just do this, and we're going to have x minus 3x, which is actually negative 2x, equals, this is 0x, which means we don't need to worry about it, plus 2. And then with this, we have x equals, divided by both sides, negative 2, x equals negative 1. Negative 2 divided by negative 2 is negative 1. That was a fairly straightforward example. Now let's try one more. Let's try one more example, which should be pretty easy again. 3x plus 5y plus 5x plus 2x minus 4x equals 12. Okay, just like last time, I'm going to combine all of our coefficients. So I'll just add the coefficients up. Since we have on all these 5x, 3x, and 2x, and negative 4x's, we only have x's, no x squared, same coefficients, we can just add them up. 3 plus 5 is 8, 8 plus 2 is 10, 10 minus 4 is 6x. So by combining the x's, we get 6x equals 12, and x equals 2. But just again, if you guys want to visualize this, we're going to do this in visual form. We have x, x, x. This is our 3x over here. Plus, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is our 5x. Plus, x, x. This is our 2x. Minus 1, 2, 3, 4. This is our 4x. So when we add them up, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which is 10 minus 1, 2, 3, 4. 10 minus 4, which is equal to 6x. Great, okay. Now we understand this. Now here's the more difficult and deceiving portion. Let's try this equation here. 3x squared plus 3x equals 3. How would you solve this? Would you try to put the x squared and 3x just like last time? Is this what you would do? Add these together, just think nothing more of it, like we did in the previous examples, or not? Okay, so if you said you wouldn't do this, you'd be absolutely correct. So in this example, this is 3x. In this example, we have 3x squared. So let's visualize it again. We have an x squared over here, x squared over here, x squared over here. And keep in mind, x squared is basically x times x. So we have, since we have 3 of them, it's x times x times x times x times x times x, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. Plus 3x. And just erase that. So we can visualize how 3x looks. Okay, so we have x plus x plus x. So plus x plus x plus x. So can we do this over here? If for most of it, can we just go like this, multiplying all around, and then similarly just adding? No, that's not going to work. Because just like last time, only if they're like the same thing and there's x's, it's going to work. Like for over here, suppose x is equal to 5. And we have, no, suppose x is equal to 2. For over here, we'd have 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 6, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 2 is 32. But then now we get over here, and we're just going to start adding 2's. So that would make it 34, 36, 38. That's not right, guys? So you can't just be multiplying, and then suddenly to add coefficients. You can't just be like, oh, we're just going to start adding now. That's just not how it's going to work. Because suppose this was now 3x squared, then you could combine like terms. Then these plus signs would all go away, and then we'd now have multiplication signs instead. And then where we left off at 32, we're going to continue and start putting them up here now. We've got 64, then 128, and then 256. Right, guys? So 256 and 38 are really, really far away from each other, right, guys? 256 is not greater than or equal to, it's just greater than. It's a lot, it's much greater than 38. So this is why for equations like that, you just cannot do this. See, this doesn't just apply for x squared. This also applies for x cubed, and x to the 4th, x to the 5th, and x to the x plus 1, or whatever. So that just means it just goes on, it goes on up to x to the infinite power. Okay, guys, this rule is always going to stick. Make sure you can always combine like terms. Okay, so we don't need to solve that question though, just for example. So now we're going to give you guys 2 more equations to solve, where you guys can combine like terms. 5 and 6. Suppose we have 3x plus 2x minus 15, and no, we've used 3x a lot today. Let's just try to change things up, okay? Let's just make this, how about 4x plus 2x plus minus 15 equals 3. And up here, how about we have x squared minus 3x equals 5. Okay. So just pause the video and try to work these out on your own. And then if you guys have trouble, just unpause it and we'll work through it together. Okay, so let's just start off with this. We have 4x and 2x. From all of our models earlier, since they're both ending in x's, just regular x's, and to know their power, not divided x's, nothing else, the regular x's, we're going to have 4x plus 2x minus 15. So it's equal to 6x over here minus 15 equals 3. Based on the addition property of equality, which we learned in the last video, we're going to add 15 to both sides. What you do to one side, you have to the other side, so this makes this 0 and this 18. So now we're getting 6x equals 18, x equals 3. Okay, great. So now we have this equation over here. X squared minus 3x minus 5. So how would you go out by doing this? So would you try to combine the x squared and the 3x? You think that what we do? If so, that would be incorrect, because remember last time, this would just be like saying x times x minus x minus x minus x. It just wouldn't work because it's completely different from multiplying it, so we just cannot put those terms together. Instead, we'd have to solve this using a quadratic formula or another method. But for now, since we're just beginning Algebra 1, we're not going to go into that stuff. So instead, we're just going to suppose we change this into x squared. Could we solve this now? Yes. It's basically like x squared minus 3x squared. So since we have like terms and we have x squared in the beginning, we just have to remember that x squared is the same thing as 1x squared. It's just since 1 times anything is always just same thing as it being multiplied, like we don't usually add it. We just have to remember this, so we have to think of it by. So since that ends in x squared, this ends in x squared. Basically 1 minus 3, just add or subtract the coefficients. 1 minus 3 is negative 2. And then we have x squared over here, x squared over here. So it's negative 2x squared equals 5. And then x squared equals, subtract, divide both sides by negative 2 equals negative 2. So if you guys wanted, you guys could stop here to learn a little more about exponents. But if you guys want to go on and see how you would solve this problem, you just take the square roots of both sides and you get x equals square root of negative 2. And just beware that you cannot take a square root of a negative number, which is why there would be no solution. But as far as we go, you guys don't need to know any of this. All you guys need to know is up till here, where you can find out that x squared equals negative 2. All that's important for right now, okay guys? So good job. You should probably try practicing a few of these problems. They're not very easy, so you should probably practice them, practice them. And make sure you memorize all the rules, and until next time, bye.